Okay, let's dive into April 9th, 2025. We're looking at a snapshot of the financial markets for that day.
Right, and we've got this summary from Grok Trade to guide us.
Mm,
Covers stocks, the economy, crypto.
exactly. So the big story seems to be the stock market. Grok Trade actually called it a historic day.
Yeah, the biggest single-day gain since, 2008?
Right. Apparently a tweet from President Trump, something like a good time to buy.
Uh-huh.
And then, maybe more concretely, a 90-day pause on most new retaliatory tariffs. Not China, though. They were mostly excluded, but still.
Right, that exclusion of China is key. But even a partial pause,
Uh-huh.
that's news the market likes to hear.
It sounds like it hit fast. And Grok Trade, interestingly, they'd sort of seen a bounce coming.
Yeah, they mentioned anticipating a strong bounce. They felt the market was oversold.
Oversold, like stretched too thin.
Exactly, like a rubber band analogy. Stretched too far, likely to snap back.
Exactly. Everyone rushes for the exit, the selling pressure gets intense, and then sometimes, once all the sellers are flushed out, the market can actually turn around sharply.
Okay.
Grok Trade apparently saw signs this might happen. And that massive intraday gain, that huge reversal, it suggests that's what played out.
Makes sense. So, stepping back a bit, what was the wider economic picture then? Did this happen in a vacuum?
Well, Grok Trade linked the rally pretty clearly to that tariff pause, the non-China part anyway. It boosted confidence,
Right. Grok Trade noted it boosted investor sentiment. Even with China still largely in the crosshairs, any sign of easing tensions helps.
But it wasn't all clear skies, was it?
No, not at all. I
Yeah.
mean, those existing tariffs, especially China's 34% retaliatory ones, they were still very much in place, a big shadow hanging over things.
Right.
So the mood lifted, sure, but the fundamental trade conflict hadn't vanished. And Grok Trade pointed out there wasn't other big economic news that day.
Like jobs data or Fed decisions?
Exactly. No major updates on jobs, the Fed, inflation. So trade policy really took center stage. It was the story driving the market that day.
Interesting how one thing can dominate. Okay, let's switch over to crypto. Grok Trade saw action there, too.
Yes, a significant rally. Bitcoin jumped about 8%.
Wow, 8%. So it was kind of mirroring the stock market's optimism.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
We see that connection between crypto and traditional markets more and more. It's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
And technically, Grok Trade mentioned Bitcoin was approaching a strong trendline resistance.
Resistance, like a ceiling.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
A price level it struggled to break through. So the question was, could this rally sustain, or would it hit that ceiling and stall out?
Okay, so technical factors at play there, too. Now, here's maybe a bit of a curveball. Gold.
Ah, yes.
Usually a safe haven, right? It actually went up 3.5% that day. Seems odd when stocks are soaring.
It does seem counterintuitive at first glance, doesn't it?
Sure.
But it's actually a really key observation.
Wes?
Well, the fact gold gained suggests not everyone bought into the rally wholeheartedly. Some investors were likely still hedging their bets, seeking safety.
Ah, like an insurance policy.
Exactly. Even amidst the broader optimism, there was still an undercurrent of caution, maybe uncertainty about whether the rally would last or if those trade issues would flare up again. It shows the market isn't monolithic.
That makes sense. So pulling this all together, Grok Trade's perspective really highlights their belief in, well, technical analysis.
Yes, they emphasized how looking at those patterns helped them anticipate this potential turning point.
They even mentioned their mentorship program, didn't they? Focusing on that stuff charts, trade setups, managing risk.
Right. It underlines their philosophy. Understanding market mechanics and patterns can give you an edge. And this day, April 9th, seemed to, provide some validation for that approach.
Okay, so summarizing April 9th, 2025, a major market rebound, ignited mainly by trade policy news. We saw this reflected across stocks and crypto, aligning somewhat with technical signals.
But with that gold move reminding us, there was still some caution baked in.
Definitely. It really shows how interconnected things are. A policy announcement sends ripples everywhere. Technicals offer clues, sentiment shifts.
It's a complex mix. Policy, psychology, technical factors, all interacting.
So here's a final thought to chew on. We saw on this one day how things like policy tweets, technical charts, and even safe haven demand were all linked. What other connections, maybe less obvious ones, might be quietly shaping the financial landscape or even, the broader decisions we make every day? Makes you wonder about those hidden threads.